Alright guys, Supreme Kami here, so we are going to be doing the Alteration review for the Gundam Aerials here. So as for Gundam Aerials here, I'm just going to make this clear. This unit is pretty much designed to be a dual type build just because of the war tech that is presented, but I did kind of find that the shot department it is a little bit lackluster. It's not going to be anywhere compatible to some of your more heavily shot based oriented, so that's why I'm going to be putting this one strictly on melee. Melee, this one looks really good, so that's why I think it's more appropriate. But as for the overall war tag, you are presented with pro tags, Gundam type, high firepower, and then for space, so you definitely do have a lot of options, especially when you talk about parts that has high firepower. You have a lot of good ways you just kind of pair that up to anything else. So that's why if you do want to make this one into a pure shooter based build, you can definitely do so, but it's just the stat is not gonna be too high. So that's that. But let's actually get started. I think the overall kit, if we take a look at areas individually, you might think that the part they're not that good, but if you are combining them, like let's say realistically speaking, you have the full set, right? You talk about you have like from the head part to the beam rifle, the shield, and all that good stuff. I think collectively this unit does work really well. It gives you the utility to sustain, it gives you the utility to heal, and etc. But I mean, like honestly, who out here actually does have the full set besides like a good handful of people, right? I think for those individuals, it's gonna be good, but for the majority, let's say you only obtain like 1 or 2 parts. I think some of the portrait are just gonna be like they're actually not that good, you know. So I think the first one we're taking a look at the head part. So stat wise, looking not too shabby, like it's in the top 5, top 10, whatever, right? The portrait. So this is where the problem kind of comes around. So you have first portrait. Oh, when pro tag is activated, you are recovering 1000 armor gradually. So I think it's per second. Per every second you do get 1000 armor back at max out. So if we are taking a look at base level 1 portrait, only 500. So I think realistically speaking, that is definitely a very outdated like number over there. If they're giving us like at least a percentage base, let's say 1% or 5% per every second or whatever, I think that'll be good. But if you take a look like 1000 is not gonna be all that matter. But consider the fact that we have this. So after the first 5 seconds elapsed, so you're probably gonna be looking at the timer 4 minutes and 4 minutes and 55 seconds. Then this right here proctor. So this one, why this one is good, that makes this one better, because when you are reducing your enemy in every way possible, right, you are pretty much going to be taking 0 to none damage. So let's say if you're taking like 1 or 2 damage for say, because my tank build, I really don't take any damage from any opponent besides if you get one shot by rampage or you get one shot by any custom EX skill. If I'm taking like let's say 500, 2000, 3000, but I'm able to recover 1000 HP per second, this is where this one comes in handy. So realistically speaking, you will be able to top up your HP at ease if you have this proctor, right? So that's why I think this overall kit, you have to take into the consideration that this one, what its functionality is going to be able to for you to tank then recover some HP. So yeah, because if we do take a look at the back part, just gonna skip ahead. The back part actually does give you another reduction. So you're talking about what, 70% reduction. So you're talking pretty good. Like if you taking 70% off your enemy plate, having that 1000 recovery is good. But that is talking about when you have the full set. We're taking a look at the full set, not individually. It sucks. All right, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. It sucks. It does not really help at all. But if you combine the head part and the back part trait, you're solid. So that's that. But is it really worth summoning for that part? Absolutely not. It's I would say go for something that's a little bit more power boosted. Like I don't know, Destiny right here. Just name me something out. Maybe Sasabi, all out damage. Why not? Like this one is gonna get decimated. But I'm trying to make this part look good on paper, but it's not. But But talking full set, it should be good. But moving over to the torso now, how's the torso doing? The torso is not really doing anything that's too spectacular that we have not seen before. I think namely this one is doing the approach of what the Crossbone Excellent Full Clock originally did. Give you guys that double 20%, which this one is going to be a 23 to a 20%, so that's actually not bad. But is it really that good? Honestly, if you guys right now do not have any, let's say EXQ cooldown reduced by any percentage, then go for it. All right. But if you guys have any other that has been working already, I would not advise you guys to go for another one just because of the investment time. The resources is too hefty. So if you guys do have something already that's good, this one is pretty much just gonna be for the fashion and stuff. Because honestly, people are probably summoning aerials Gundam just for the looks. I don't know how many of you guys are actually summoning for the portrait, because honestly the portrait are not anything too crazy. This one we have a plentiful of good substitution already. We can take a look at Infinite Justice, the Crossbone X1. We probably have something down the line. Let's say the Barbados Lupus, P attribute. This one is a squash, so it's a little bit more valued. So we have a lot. So do we need another one? Absolutely not. But do we need the aerial chest? We do, but just not the portrait. So if you're talking about for the investment portion of it, not for the aesthetic. Aesthetic is definitely 11 out of 10. But as for the investment for the torso, not really, because we have a lot, and I'm pretty sure most of you guys probably do have something already. If you guys are familiar with what is 100% cooldown reduction type build. So as for the overall stat, this is what we have presented. Good armor. You have good double offensive, which is what this unit is overall designed for, because you have Protect Gundam type. So this one is purely designed to be run as they do type build, So that factor is good, but portrait wise, I would highly disagree for you guys to go in, unless you guys do not have any, then go for it. But if you guys do have something already, do not. It's just not really recommended. And going over to something that's highly not recommended, it's gonna be the arms. The arms does have some pretty good dual stat once again. That's kind of given because of what this unit is trying to do. This one does have Protect, and then for space, first time seeing for space. So for space, this time around is getting a lot of love, because look at the portrait. The first portrait is when you have force space active, you are getting a enemy damage plus 50%. So that looks good, right? First portrait with alteration, this one looking fairly solid. But what happens when you alterate this arm? What do we get? You get a 55% chance of attack penetrating super armor. No. I mean, me personally, I really don't know how this one is actually even applied. Even me, I don't know what this one actually does. So this one is not that good. Just gonna be honest with you guys, it's just not gonna be too effective overall, because you're doing it by chance base. So you're gonna be 50% chance of not getting a proctor. So so this one is just not gonna be good. So yeah, it's that, right? First, so if you guys are able to put this one in the near future and you guys don't have the upper, I think it's still functional, because the alteration does not make it any better except for the fact that it gives you more stats and stuff. But the second portrait, it just kind of I don't know, man. I don't know. I rather go for something that's like this or this, or even this. We just have better options out there. The armor simply for the fashion, simply for the aesthetic, simply for the hype of Gundam aerials. The portrait itself is kind of trash. Simply put it that way. So another part that is not good as far as the portrait. But moving over to the leg is definitely another part that looks really good, because you guys can see that on the hip portion of it. The clear black, once you do use any EXQ that has awakening, that turns red. So that factor 100% looks cool. But how cool is the portrait? Not really. Why do I say that? Oh, let me switch over here. Why do I say that? Because they are presenting to us once again, let's say EXQ reduced by 23%, and then you're getting another enemy EXQ damage plus 40%. That factor, I think we have a good portion of that already. Oh, look at that, Sasabi, the lifestyle surgeon. So this one is doing pretty much the same thing, but the condition, I would say this one is better because locking you to save a category is definitely better than locking yourself into a specific word tag. So that I'll definitely agree this one is better in terms of the condition factor, but this one does has a little bit higher, percentage with there. So it's kind of like either or in a way. But yeah, this one honestly is not. It's good, but at the same time, it's not because we just have so many of these already, right? Like I said again, if you guys do not have any of these in your possession, and this is like your first time getting this kind of portrait combination, after alteration, go for it, because that's the first time having it. But with that said, if you guys have something nearly the same, if you guys are simply hunting for these EXQ cooldown reduced by any percentage, I would definitely say look for something else. Look for something that is within the standard pool, look for something that is within the event part, because those are going to be extremely easier to max out compared to a limited part. So as for the leg, is it really worth altering, or is it really worth investing in alteration? The answer is, if you guys have something out there already, don't. But if you guys have not, this is like your first time having something of this caliber, definitely go for it. Otherwise, as for the word tag, you are looking at Pro Tag Gundam type once again, because this one purely designed for a dual type build. So you guys can see that the offensive side is pretty similar. One is a little bit higher as for melee, and then a defensive is actually quite similar. So that portion, it is really good. But moving over to the back part, I think the back part is probably the only, let's say, portrait I like from the set, because this is a very unique one in a way. So what does the back do for us here? So when buffed, so when you're using an EX skill that provide you with any buffs, which we'll be taking a look in the shield just a bit. So when you activate the shield, for example, from the aerials, that is when the buff condition activates. That is when you'll be able to receive the enemy all power reduced by 35%. So this one is good because we have never, well, we have this before, but we have never had this paired up with a buffs. So secondary refresh rate, we have the buff EXQ effects up by 40%. So we have never had this combination before as far as the back portion goes. So that's why I think this is definitely a very good one. Just because we never have it, so that's why it's always gonna be good. So I think if you guys are able to get this one, I think this one is good. This one definitely are going to be able to supply a lot of good, let's say, damage mitigation, at the same time being allowing yourself to do more damage. Granted, if your EXQ has any effects built in, but if not, let's say if you're using any EXQ that does not have anything applies per se, in that regards, the secondary portrait is going to be useless. So yeah, but otherwise, I do feel like the back part is good, just because of the uniqueness first of having it. Stat are going to be as follows. So the shot department, I don't know, it plummeted. It went from a pretty relatively same stat to like I'm gone, So I don't know what's up right there, but overall pretty good. As far as the defensive side, it is quite balanced, so that's good. This one, you do have Protect and then high firepower, so definitely a easy to work with as for the overall vortex, so pretty good. The shield. The shield, not gonna lie, is probably one of the best shield we have in game. Stat wise, I don't think it really matters all that much, but the effects. Once you pop the EXQ, you are gaining both a melee and shot attack up by a respectively 29% to a 34%. So that factor is good. Buffing that, gonna be good. But you're not done yet. You're also gonna be gaining a melee and shots, respectively cooldown instantly down by 28% on both. That is hot. That is a first time. Like, we have these before. That is more like, oh, melee this and that, and then shot this and that. But we have never seen both of them together like that. So this is probably one of the better effects you can find on a, just on anything. So that's good. This is probably one of the better shield that you'll be able to run. Unfortunately, this is an awakenable shield, so you pretty much won't be able to, let's say, change the first two effects, because they're not really carryable in a way. But the bottom two, they will be able to. So once you pop to this one, your other two EXQ, depending on if they are in cooldown, they will obviously be able to benefit from the 28%. But if they're not, they will just be gone. It won't even matter. But other than that, the shield is top notch. So that's good. Definitely love the shield. The stats may not really represent it, I would definitely have to say, because it's just kind of too spread out. You want to do both, so that's why they are going to give you that in middle ground. So that's why as for on the shield stat, it's not going to be that good. Just going to be honest with you guys. Stat wise, it's not going to be good, but I think the biggest takeaway is definitely going to be effects. So just want to make that point right there. So moving over to the beam saber. The beam saber is good. Definitely supplying what you need for a good build. So this one should be using pro tag, unfortunately. So this one, quote unquote, back to the topic. This one is a dual type build. So let's see what the portrait does for us here. So when you have pro tag, all power boosted by 40%. So this one you can, when I say all power boosted, so this one you can be running your shot based EX skill. There'll be no problem. You can use that at ease. Normal shoot and attack, they'll work. Normal melee attack, they'll work. And then normal EX skill or just melee EX skill, they'll work. So anything works. So it's good. You just have to proctor that pro tag and you'll be good to go. And as for the secondary portrait, so you'll be taking 10% more melee damage. It's not you getting an additional 10%. So the first line is always the condition. So you are gonna be taking 10 more melee damage. So it's not that bad, honestly. 10%, it's not bad at all. In the upside, you are gonna be able to gain an enemy all damage plus 50%. So that's hot. That is a very good effect there, so not bad overall. So this one gonna be a very good one for a dual type build. You are pretty set already. You do have pro tag and then Gundam type already, so you are on a very good pace already onto a dual type build. But other than that, that is pretty much it for the beam saber. I don't really have much to say about this one, just because I would not really be using this one, because I'll probably be using something that's a little bit more catered to a better percentage, better stat, like let's say the beam saber from the Sasabi, the last version. This one gives you a little bit more better offensive in terms of the condition. It's not that restrictive in a way, not to pro tag, so I can definitely, you know, be able to use it on like really good on a shooting based build. So that's that. But like I said again, this unit itself is designed to be a dual type build, just for the pro tags, or pro tags on the type, higher power, etc. So the war tag wise does support that. But last but not least, we have the beam rifle. So beam rifle actually does come with a beam saber EX skill, because if you guys do not know, the beam rifle, you guys are able to attach a portion of the shield bits onto the beam rifle and then mix it into a beam saber. So that's why they had it. It's not something that they went out of the way to do. It's definitely something that is, you know, presented in the actual high grade kits as well. So this one is actually pretty good. Why is that? Because you're lowering your enemy's shot and melee attack by 24% of max. So this right here is really powerful because you're doing both. So why not? This one, like this overall kit itself, like the whole combination of it, you're able to reduce your enemy attacks. You're able to like literally reduce it by the portrait. So this overall kit itself is actually quite good. So let me just quickly go over the stat. The stat is going to be as follows, so it's not that bad. It's actually quite good for the melee, almost at 4K. So this one also does give you a respectable chunks of shot attack. So it's not the best, but it's kind of there. But yeah, as a whole, I think the Gundam Aerials is definitely a really good starter kit, because it does kind of provide you anything that you ever need. You have, let's say, damage mitigation. On EX skill, on portrait, you have, you know, actual damage portrait, like those damage traits, those power boosting trait, and you also do have, let's say, EX skill cooldown reduced by X amount percentage, and you also do have, you know, flat number recovery. So all around it's gonna be good. But let's say you're not able to get the full set, because honestly, like I said again, not everyone's going to be able to get the full set. So if you look at part individually, they're not going to be outstanding. They're pretty much going to be something that you'll see generically in any of your Soga parts already, or some of your Gundam Fest part already. So as a whole, they're good, but individually, like let's say head part, torso, arm part, leg part, they're just something that we have seen already rehashed into the aerials. But other than that, back part, probably the only thing that I would say this kind of like got my attention. But other than that, all the other one, the back part, shield part, those two are probably my two favorite. But other than that, all the other one are maybe even a beam rifle. Let me take that. So the shield, beam rifle, and then the back part. I think those are definitely my top recommendation. All the other ones, they're just kind of like, yeah, we got something better ready. But other than that, you guys can definitely let me know which one of the part you guys are able to get, and do let me know have you guys been able to utilize the Gundam Aerials part just for the aesthetic. So yeah, with that said, that's gonna be pretty much it, and I'll be catching you all on the next one.